Let's do it, brother. What you gonna do with a Hulk? Hulk's all over you, brother. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan, Stephen.
I don't know why you're talking about Hulk Hogan, John, but here.
Get in my head.
That's your WWF days,
Steve,
John,
I love
coming
Hulk
back
Hogan,
to you.
man.
Not WWE as it's known now. It was WWF back in the day, before the big panda took over. John, anyway, we're going to talk about Loki tonight. This is what we do on Wednesday nights. We talk about Disney Plus television series. Well, the ones we like, that is. And Loki is certainly up there with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, John.
Well, we'll get into how we rate it, Stephen.
We're talking about, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we will actually. We didn't talk about that before we come on.
I thought we rated the other two, Stephen, so we'll maybe have to retrospectively grade the other two TV shows and then grade this one.
What did we do with Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Did we review it? Did we not give it a rating at the very end, like for the whole series?
No, I think we just spoke about it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe
so
we'll
retrospectively grade it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, listen. This last episode is the best yet. I say that every week. So you know where I'm going anyway, John. But this is the finale. This is the one we've been waiting for. The one that was going to give us answers. Did it? We'll soon find out. 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb. And this is called For All Time Always. What a great title that is.
That was Hunter B-15 and Mobius, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they get together. And they see that the shit's hitting the fan. There's multiple branches leaving the sacred timeline. She's for all time, always. She's
not in it a lot, Hunter B-15. She isn't. This series I'm talking about, not just the episode.
She's a great character. I want to see her coming back again.
Definitely, yeah.
Absolutely want to see her coming back. I want to see, because we will get this sorted at some point. There will be a sacred timeline fixing. We won't have an inevitable multiverse concept going on for multiple phases of the MCU. At some point they will clean it up, and we need some organisation again. I don't know if Hunter B-15 wants to devote her life to another TVA organisation, but find a way to get her in. That's what I'm saying. Great little character. Really, really enjoyed it. And just the way she was almost the audience's eyes into the reveal of the variant idea within the TVA. It was all fake. It was really her and Mobius, but more so her. We spoke about it, Steve. Fake news, yeah. He's fake now. He's faking every way, that bitch. Guy eats a fucking steak. Well done. Offence to anyone. No offence to anyone that does that, but fucking medium. Come on, at least medium. But yeah, you seen it, Steve? We spoke about that. The emotion in her face when she reacted to the news from Sylvie that it was all a facade. It was fake, as you did say. Whatever you want to fucking call it, be a smarty pants. So she's a great character. Stephen, you're right though, man. We were left on a cliffhanger at the end of that last episode. Ruth was in. I think there was a couple of other people in speaking about how it disappointed them. They didn't get any coherent, I don't know what you'd call it, answer to who was behind all of this. We had to wait another week again. It was the one, maybe, I don't know, the traction, is that the right word? The one annoyance of that previous episode. They never really got to the bottom of it. So they really left it to the finale to unveil who was behind it, who was masterminding the entire TVA, that fake organisation, who was masterminding the safekeeping of the sacred timeline. Stephen, I had my thoughts. I says it would either be a King Loki, King Foki, for Loki combination, or King the Conqueror. And we spoke last week, Stephen, and I did say they have to bring this guy in. They can't just drop this King the Conqueror character in to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. He's too big a fucking thing for that. He is a guy who can go back and forth in time, manipulate huge events, be the victor. He's too powerful, Stephen, so they had to drop the concept of King the Conqueror, and they certainly did it in this. We've got a comment. Hi, Elevator Not Lovey.
Hi there, how you doing?
Welcome in. Stephen, what did you think? Were you surprised when you seen them dropping it in so early, Kang? But first, before that, Stephen, what was your thoughts on the intro? I thought the way they handled that title, Marvel title intro, all of the voices of the Avengers, was that the music of Steve Rogers going back to the 1940s and dancing with Peggy Carter? I'm like, that's cat music, isn't it? And then you hear Nelson Mandela, Greta Thunberg, Thunberg, whatever the hell we call her, all of these famous names throughout time, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And obviously it blends in, Stephen, to the sacred timeline. They're travelling through it. They're going to this place where the bold King the Conqueror is sitting himself. What was your thoughts on that intro? I thought it was absolutely incredible. The spinning shot of the time. No, that's the wrong thing. I'm tripping out my nut here. Do bear with me. I'm reading the wrong notes. I says, what an intro. All the Avengers moments, Cap reunion music, iconic figures speaking, and just going through this sort of Votox. Visually stunning. A momentous start to a momentous finale. Stephen, what was your thoughts on it? And then getting to see King the Conqueror within the first minute or so. I'm like, what the fuck? They're not holding back here.
Yeah, John.
It's King.
I'll tell you about that in a moment. My
He Who Remains
reaction to that introduction. That introduction though is one of those times where I don't mind not hearing that iconic MCU intro.
Mm-hmm.
They did something different, and I liked that. Just like they did with Endgame with Traffic. Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way to sort of round everything off. We've got some famous quotes there. I could do this all day kind of thing, from Captain America, etc. There was all those. They put that little bit in as well, which was funny. But it was great, John, and it was kind of it was like this episode was like an event episode, if you like, you know, and that's why I think they did it. But John, you're talking about
he who momentous for the future as well. We'll get into that.
Yeah, he who remains.
He who remains, yes,
as the character. That's the title of the character in this one.
Eating an apple.
But, yeah, John, how nonchalant does this guy come into the episode? And I've got to be honest with you. I thought, is this it? You know, I know Jonathan Majors, John from The Five Bloods and Hostiles as well. So he's a great actor, you know, and there's nothing wrong with his performance. He was amazing in this episode. But it explains he's a variation of the character.
And he's just bored, Steve. He's been sitting in this place just trying to keep things in order. And I think even the characters within it, but certainly me watching it, I'm like, is this guy playing them? Is he at it? But I don't think he is. I think he's genuinely just done with it, Steve, and he just wants to be finished no matter what, either dead or stepping down and giving it to the two Lokis. Steve, that ain't going to be the Kang the Conqueror we're getting.
No.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp. We will get the helmeted version, the evil version. He lays down in that what would you call it? I always forget that. Exposition heavy history lesson about multiverses, him discovering it, I think in 30 something anyway, 3000s, it was a year then, 3031 or something.
Yeah.
They all communicate. There's a
31st century, I think
31st century, there's a peace, a narcissistic peace, and then they start niggling and there's a full-on multi-dimensional war, interdimensional war. So he explains there's different versions. There is, if you think I'm bad, wait you see my variants, because they're even worse. So we'll get the worst version, I'm absolutely certain. We'll get the all-conquering evil version. Elevator said a couple of things to say, Steve. She says, I liked the episode. He says, I liked the episode. I don't know what the sex is, I don't know why he says that. I'm a little mad about Sylvie kissing Loki and then betraying him. It's inevitable though. It's a Loki.
Last week,
It's a Loki. That's a Loki thing to do. And she just, Stephen, you were right, man, about that character. She was always going to be the one that was going to break, inevitably. This Loki that we've seen going on this journey, the Tom Hiddleston Loki, his development has been incredible.
That's why they weren't going to do it.
And they really have done an amazing job. We spoke about that. That's one of the strong points of this TV show, of humanising that character.
I think they were aware of that. The fans would have been really pissed off if he had done the dirty.
If he had betrayed, because we're playing on it. You just want the throne. So I'm glad he ultimately didn't betray. She's got some more growth. I think we'll see Sylvie back. I'm absolutely certain we'll see her back. But it was kind of disappointing. They finally had the kiss. It was a big sort of moment. And then
fine. I didn't mind it.
But I'm not you. And puts him right into another dimension, incidentally. I love Kang. He was hilarious. He was hilarious, wasn't he? I've got fucking mountains of quotes for this guy. Mountains of quotes.
Is amazing. I can't wait to see this guy playing variations of Kang. John, I'm assuming that's what we are going to get. He'll
give us a different dimension, Stephen, with this more evil one. I don't know if you I interrupt you there, sorry, Steve.
Another dimension.
Intergalactic. I wasn't expecting much from the episode, just wanted Mobius on a jet ski. We didn't get it, did we? If I missed that, we didn't get it.
The opening, I actually cried. It's been a long time. It's one of the songs that will always make me cry.
Yeah. It was a great intro, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
One of the best. And we'll get to grading these TV shows. I'll get to where our position is. I'm not sure.
I'm laughing at your last comment there because we were talking about that.
Stephen, it freaked the fuck out of me.
Terrifying.
I'm like, Jesus fuck, this thing's sentient. I'm like, this isn't a pre-programmed recording. This little
talking about Miss Minutes.
This little fucker's sentient. And we actually looked into the actor. I'm like, that's just what I expected. It's like some cowboy actress. So this little fucker was sentient. No, dude, it took me aback.
It sounds like Sheriff Callie, if you ever know the Disney kids stuff.
Steve, we should have realised that she was sentient because we've seen it, and as you did say, she delayed giving Sylvie the chance to get out. So we knew, a little bastard, that exactly, little fucker. But we know she's probably just a connection of Kang the Conqueror. His sentence, he's playing the audience through her. Miss Minutes, I'm not sure about season 2. I enjoy multiple season shows where each season's a different story. I'm not really a fan of shows where all the seasons connect. But Loki, but it's Loki, so we'll see. Look, I mind reading a couple of days ago about Richard E. Grant, and it is Richard, not Russell, as I said the other day. Richard E. Grant.
He's the astronomer.
Basically saying
astronomer.
That he would like to come back as the character, as the character. He'd like to come back and play classic Loki again. There's multiple variants of these characters, so why not have him come back? Why not focus on... And look, I think it was Campier himself. I didn't watch the show, but I seen the headline. It's perhaps a clip, maybe the show itself. But he suggested, will we get Loki in Multiverse of Madness, and will that then set up a second season of Loki? Because what happens in the events of Multiverse of Madness may directly lead us into the events of a second Loki show. So it's never over. I've really enjoyed this show. I think it's been brilliant. Really high calibre of writing, of dialogue, trusting the audience to consume a different kind of Marvel product. And Stephen, that's what we've got throughout all of these TV shows so far.
John,
very different content, but dialogue heavy.
You're absolutely right about the writing in the sense of getting the audience to finally trust Tom Hiddleston's Loki. That was a big ask, because I wasn't that keen getting into this television series. I have stated that a few times, because I thought Loki was so two-dimensional. Not in a bad way. Tom Hiddleston did a great job of portraying this character in the MCU movies. But I didn't think there was enough there to work with.
You changed this, man. Jeez,
but I felt that's okay, John. But I think just this journey, as you said, Kevin Feige and the team have trusted us, and in a way we've trusted them to give us a compelling story for the main character, to give us a development of the character as well, without conning us and ripping us off in any way, because that's why I didn't think for a minute that Tom Hiddleston's Loki would betray Sylvie in any way. He was invested in her, that variation of him, I should say. And there was always this thing with Sylvie. It was some look in her eye. I just couldn't pinpoint, John, that she's a little bit on edge most of the time, and she's erratic as well, and you could see that. She's been
on the run since she was a little girl.
The funny thing is, listening to He Who Remains throughout that episode, I trusted him, what he was telling me. At no point did I think he was lying. No. I know that there was moments where it was implied, and there was a little bit, John, when he didn't know what was going to happen after telling him he knows everything. And I thought, he's been a bit inconsistent now in what he's doing here, because he doesn't know what's about to happen after just telling us he knows everything. And I thought, I don't know where they're going with this now, but at no point did I think he was lying.
Stephen, we've got a comment there that's very interesting. He ain't lying. What's that from again?
Come to America.
He ain't lying, that's right, aye. He's good and terrible. It's from that, wasn't it? That's a very interesting. I didn't pick up on that. The actual variant who discovered all of the other variants in different universes, it's actually Nathaniel Richards. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Nathaniel Richards, Iron Lad. So again, we're setting up multiple variant concepts potentially coming out of these multiverse movies.
Didn't know that.
Iron Lad. And look, I do recall reading about that, because I mind when Jonathan Majors got cast as Kang the Conqueror, I became obsessed with the character, went down a rabbit hole, and he actually is Iron Lad and some other variant, if you'd like, for lack of a better word. So that's interesting. I don't know if we'll perhaps see that at some point. It'd be interesting. I want to see different styles of characters that we've seen and known and loved. And I think Iron Lad, is he part of Young Avengers? Is that a younger version? I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. Maybe someone can educate me. But I think we are getting a Young Avengers at some point. I think that's inevitable. Stephen, I was going to speak about Kang the Conqueror, man. He came in, and as you did say, with some nonchalance. And Stephen, they kind of hinted at this character the entire way through the season, to the point where I was convinced he would turn up in some form, albeit I thought it would maybe be an end screen credits. Is that even correct? Post credit scene. An end cream. Yeah, that's an in joke. Post credit scene, I thought would be more likely. I never thought for a minute they'd divulge an entire episode's worth of this character. No. But they surprised me, Stephen, and I was absolutely fucking delighted.
I think it's because of the variation we got of him, John.
Yeah, the
variation. I think if he came in all singing and dancing,
powerful and wanting to kill people.
It would have been what? Really?
Yeah, it would have been wasted,
John,
on this,
because but this variation of the character also underwhelmed in the sense this is going to be the villain for Ant-Man, but I didn't understand at that point.
He was a variant.
He was
a sort of downtrodden, broken sort of version of this character who's had to look over time for a millennia. He says that, I've lived a long, long time, I'm older than you think. He's actually 31. He's born the same fucking year as me, incidentally. And he looks a little bit older than me, I'm going to say. But he still looks good. Jonathan's a fucking great actor. As you keep saying, man, Defy Blood's brilliant as the son of your man Delroy Lindo, who was fucking robbed out an Oscar for that movie. Robbed. So he's brilliant. We've seen him in multiple movies, Steve, and I'm excited to see what this guy's going to bring as this all-seeing, all-hearing, time-travelling villain extraordinaire. People saying they want to see Mephisto as the main big bad of the Phase 4 and 5 beyond. I fucking don't. I want to see this guy being the main villain of the entire saga. And we got a little snippet of it, Steve, what we can expect from it. That's what I was saying. And look, man, his dialogue, unbelievable dialogue in the apple. I thought myself when I seen him biting the apple, they're trying to get at him. Is this a symbolic thing? Are they playing him off as a devil? And then he says a line about, I know you want to kill the devil or something like that. I can't recall. I've wrote so many quotes down, I actually can't find it. I know you want to kill the devil, but I'll find the quote. There's so many good quotes. So Stephen, my favourite one perhaps in the beginning of the interactions was, it's been a long journey for you, hasn't it? A lot of running, a lot of pain, and then he does that little sort of and you're a flea on the back of a dragon. In for one hell of a ride, but you did manage to hang on. That counts for something. Stephen, this guy was sharing a room with, what was her face? You actually mentioned her name, the actress that plays Sylvie. Brilliant. What's her name? Sophia Di Martino. And Tom Hiddleston. Two brilliant actors, and this guy comes in and just fucking steals the scene. the entire episode with the two established characters we've bonded with for, it's 5 years now. This guy comes in and I was just absolutely dedicating my vision to him. He dominated the scene. He felt like a guy who had been alive for millennia. He was manipulating things and playing them off each other. Stephen, at one point they're fighting, and he was like a kid trying to egg up the argument between two parents. He's like, yeah, come on, we've not got much time now. And they're fighting and trying to kill each other. It was brilliant, man, the interactions.
Yeah, the interactions were great. The only sort of bugbear I do have is the situation, John, played itself out in the way I thought it would anyway, because I didn't think at any point, well, if they don't kill this variant, He Who Remains, where do they go? Where did they go with it?
It was a lot predictable, Steve.
You know, I know that the Miss Minutes had offered them, been slotted back into timelines that would suit them and stuff like that.
That was never going to be
I never believed that for a moment.
Sylvie.
And both Sylvie and Loki made it clear that, you know, they're in control of their own destiny.
You say that, Steve, but Loki says, what about the two of us? Can we both go into the one timeline? It'll be difficult.
Did you think that was implied in the way that Miss Minutes was asking about you could defeat Thanos? Did you think that's what Loki meant? Like both him and Sylvie could get into that?
I just think
that
Stephen,
world, that dimension.
I think Sylvie was absolutely dedicated, single-minded in her quest to kill this timekeeper. She wanted to kill these time lords, these timekeepers. I keep calling them fucking time lords. When it became clear that it was Kang the Conqueror, she was absolutely dedicated and wanted to kill him. The argument at the end, they're fighting each other. She's dedicated to want to kill this guy, no matter the consequence. I think at the end she actually maybe regrets it. Loki, however, I think he would have took those two, getting into the one timeline and living happily ever after. I think he'd have did it, Stephen. That's when he butts in. What about the two of us?
But I didn't believe for a minute it would play out like that, John.
No, I didn't. No, it would never have played out like that, Stephen.
That's how there was no element of surprise for me.
Yeah, there wasn't, Stephen. That's the only thing with this TV show. That would be the one thing, detraction. I keep saying that. I don't even know if that's the right word. Negative. Try to scramble for words. We were speaking about that, Stephen. You're live. The amount of words you try to scramble for. You're like a 90-year-old dementia patient at times.
John, you've seen Mandros.
Oh, Stephen, you've seen me, man. Fucking absolute breakdowns at times. But Stephen, the one negative would be, you're right, it's a little bit predictable. We know we're going into a multiverse concept with No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. We've got time travelling. We've got different versions of characters and different timelines. It was inevitable we were going to end in a way that's going to set up the multiverse concept, and that means they can't go back to the actual timeline. It has to be something mental going on.
Something new as well.
Iron Lad in comics discovered what his variants were doing and time travelled to Earth 616 and formed the Young Avengers, and he's a good version, isn't he? I think he was actually disturbed by what they were doing, the evil incarnate within them, and I think he actually tried to right the wrong. So it's such an interesting concept to have multiple versions of this character floating around. I'd love to see this evil version coming up, being a villain, and then seeing another version, perhaps a goody two shoes. It'd be brilliant. I just sat there thinking, this is the new big bad of the MCU, and here he is. What was that? Pouring tea for the god and goddess of mischief.
I laughed at this because what was crossing my mind at the time was, and I do this in every film, whether it be a Bond villain or whatever, I would never accept a drink off a villain in a television show or a movie. Just wouldn't do it.
2 sugars.
Yeah, and
who's that? Is that Tom Hiddleston? That's sweet.
And when he said that, I thought, But is it sugar?
No, it's not sugar.
Don't drink it. Oh, I don't know.
Stephen, what I loved as well was him zapping around with that tempad thing. Is that what it's called? The tempad? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's that, yeah.
And I think she tries to kill him again at one point, Sylvie, and he's like, oh, yeah, still at that, or something like that. What is it? It's just the way he was, I've got so many, a swing and a miss. Still doing that, are we? He had them in the palm of his hands. He could have done them in at any point. Yep. He was just, as we keep saying, he was very truthful throughout the episode. We thought he was maybe manipulating at points, but he wasn't. He was very truthful. He was at the end of his tenor. He was bored out his wits' end.
We more or less said to both of them, this version of me is the best you're going to get.
It is, and he's right, Stephen, and we're going to see that play out.
Find that out now, yeah.
I wonder if he will appear in Multiverse of Madness. I don't know. I don't think he can, because he's appearing in Quantumania. So that kind of confirms we're going to get a multiverse concept throughout this entire saga. Because I'm pretty sure Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania comes out after Multiverse of Madness, and it certainly comes out after No Way Home.
Loki's last line gave me chills as well in regards to Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, Steve, was that not brilliant?
He was terrified of this guy because he knew the consequences of Sylvie's actions.
He wasn't terrified of that version, it was the story he told him, and he firmly believed. He says to Sylvie,
that's what I mean,
I believe this guy.
Yep.
I don't know why, but I believe him, and we have to stop and think about this, because we may be unleashing a Pandora's box. And you see it, Stephen, he's absolutely terrified speaking to Mobius and Hunter B-15. There's going to be multiple versions. We need to prepare now
as well.
Stephen, I think this guy could potentially, the fact we could see multiple versions of him, his time travelling ability. Thanos is very fucking powerful. We've seen that. He took on 4 Iron Man and obviously Captain America at one time. He was a demigod, but this guy's got the potential to be a really ominous villain, and it's going to take a lot of power to take this guy out, man. So it's just that little insight into the character, the insight into his backstory, evil versions out there, what they're all about. They've been fighting interdimensional wars that have actually fucking brought about this sacred timeline, this writing of the timelines and not having any diversions out of them and stuff like that.
I understood TVA's purpose though, John, in this episode, their position.
It was a necessity, Steve. It was.
They're basically the administrators of the timeline, but I thought it was told, a good way. Yeah,
Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out in 2023, so we're getting a multiverse concept throughout then, because if Kang the Conqueror is in that, then that means that the events of Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home, that's not going to clear it up. We're going to have this multiverse concept. Unless he comes through the quantum realm or something.
Does that affect it, John? Would that affect the quantum realm?
It must, it must. I mean, he's time travelling, isn't he? So,
but it's inverted, is it not?
I don't know, Stephen. I've genuinely not got a clue how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But Stephen, just the dialogue, man, in this, man. I mean, getting back to another little throwaway moment I really enjoyed. Hunter B-15 in the school revealing Ravonna, the Renslayer. Yeah. Revealing her true past to the TVA soldier. He's like, why are we here? And he's like, oh, it's the Lord something or whatever the fuck she's called. Even now, I'm not sure. Lord Renslayer, was that what was she a Lord?
I think it was, yeah.
Was
I think it was Lord Renslayer, yeah.
But just that little throwaway scene, Stephen, as you say, we don't get much of Hunter B-15 in this, but the little moments we do get are very illuminating.
John, that little scene kind of confirmed as well that we had suspicions from this character from the very beginning, particularly yourself, that she was possibly the out-and-out villain at one point, or working for the out-and-out villain, but it turns out she's just as much in the dark and being misled as the rest of them, but she wants to go off. It'll be very interesting to see where they go with that character. Where did she go?
Went through a sort of portal, didn't she, and disappeared. Yeah. I'm going to find out about free will or something like that, I think she said. Stephen, the moment for me that confirmed she wasn't really in on the thing, because I think there was a connection with that character potentially in Kang. I'm not sure if that's the case. Someone spoke about that, a potential connection, love interest.
Yeah.
But the moment it confirmed that she wasn't in on it was when the little timekeeper fucker, what's she called?
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes.
Timekeeper fucker.
That little bitch came in and handed her a file, and she's like, what's this? Oh, it'll be something that's interesting to you. From who? She didn't know who was in control of this as well. She was as in the dark as we were, and also Mobius and all of the other people in the TVA were. So that's when it confirmed to me. She's like, she isn't evil. She's not the villain that I thought she was. She's just misguided. She wants a purpose. She thinks there is more than her being a variant. She feels she's special. She has this divine purpose.
It as well, John, that she's devoted most of her sort of life, or she believes she has anyway.
It's only 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah,
we don't know how this plays into the actual timeline. Is this happening in the events of 2021? Because they go back to 2018.
Well, Kang makes a good comment as well in regards to Sylvie. Not Kang, is it? Miss Minute. It said we'll give you nice memories and stuff like that. Which suggests to me that they can actually manipulate your past memories anyway, and I think that's what they've done with Ravonna. I think that's what she believes. She's been there most of her life, and she's devoted, and I think that's why it's hard for her to sort of switch off from the TVA and her duties and her responsibilities. So you can understand that to an extent.
You certainly can. And look, interesting character, Steve. It is going to be very interesting how we spin off many of these characters. I can't even speak. Hunter B-15, Mobius, Ravonna. Where do these characters go after this if there isn't to be a second season of Loki? I just don't know what they do. They're interesting characters that have unfinished business.
Yeah.
And it is not like
Kevin Feige or Marvel. Season, aren't we?
Yeah.
It was confirmed at the end with the stamp.
Yeah, probably
in the credits.
Oh, was there a thing in the credits?
Yeah, that was the only thing. I don't count it as an end credit scene. It just said Loki will return in season 2.
Well, there you go. So it's confirmed. So we are getting a season 2. Yeah, so that explains where they're going then, because it would have been unfinished business, and that's not like Kevin Feige and Marvel. They don't do unfinished, untied ends, loose ends, if you like. So that's nice to know that we are getting something, even if it isn't perhaps involving Tom Hiddleston. We could do other things with other characters, other Lokis. Yeah. Richard E. Grant, Alligator Loki, just.
Alligator Loki,
yes, just give him a whole season, Alligator Loki, with that little mini 4 in his sort of whatever that was container. Stephen, man, it was very dialogue heavy. Even for this TV show, there was a lot of dialogue heavy moments throughout this. Mobius Loki, Sylvie Loki, Mobius, Richard E. Grant's classic Loki, back and forth, but this one was incredibly dialogue heavy to the point where there wasn't much action happening. To be honest with you, there was no action. It was really just picking this guy's brain. Who's going to blink first?
Moment
with obviously Sylvie and Loki, but it's like a minute and a half. It's really just try to outwit this guy, see if he's telling the truth, play a game of chess, and then just let the consequences bear out when you make your decision. I loved that, man. It was fucking brilliant. As I said before, I really enjoyed dialogue heavy projects, be it Tarantino movies or something like that, or in this case this TV show. I enjoy it because I just love writing down dialogue, Stephen, and if you look at my iPad, man, it's just dialogue, quotes. I can't read them all, but just unbelievable, man. So you came to kill the devil, that was that quote incidentally. If you think I'm evil, well, just wait till you meet my variants. And that's the gambit. Stifling order, a cataclysmic chaos. You may hate the dictator, but for something far worse is going to fail. I don't know what that is. The void if you oppose him. Something along those lines. Just so compelling. Yeah. Jonathan Majors makes a compelling villain. I was wondering how this guy was going to do it, Stephen, because I've not seen him play a villain before. We've seen him in Hostiles. He was playing a sort of soldier. Was it a revolutionary soldier? I don't know. He was in cahoots with Christian Bale's character. And then obviously in The Five Bloods, he's playing this wide-eyed young kid following around his father, trying to get at the bottom of this guy's demons. Yeah. We've not seen him play this kind of character. Someone at Marvel, the casting director, has seen something in this guy, potential to play a villain. We see it here, man. He is manipulating things. He's at the end of his tethers. It's not the villain we're going to see going forward, but we still get an insight into what this guy is like, man. He can manipulate.
John, I'm glad they've done it this way because it's something different. People were saying that his appearance, if he was going to appear in this television series at the very end, like we all kind of predicted wrongly, would be this version of what they did with Thanos. I'm glad they've not done that. They've already done it with Thanos. Those little end credit scenes where Thanos is just Thanos, and he's starting to play his game of chess. In this, we're seeing it as a variation of the character, which Jonathan Majors as an actor, we're going to see how good he is. We're going to see how good he is in the portrayal of different versions of this Kang the Conqueror. That's what excites me the most, John. If they do that, I'm sure they do.
It's perfect.
John, it does say here, just talking about...
do you think we'll see Thanos, Stephen, incident? That was something I want to ask you before you come in. Do you think we will see Thanos again?
I don't know. No, I
Multiverse?
Don't think so. No.
We've seen this guy come back from his timeline. What's happening there? He's been killed out of timeline.
I like the way that they
I don't want to see him again.
No, I think the way that he just was wiped out of existence was perfect. It says here Loki is renewed for a second season and thereby becomes the first MCU produced by Marvel Studios to do so. So they didn't do it with the other two, didn't they? Not. They didn't confirm it.
Well, they've not confirmed it, but Kevin Feige did come out before even WandaVision and say every single TV show has been set up in a way whereby we can do a second season. It's got the potential of a second season.
This is the first one. It's
multi-seasons. This is the first one that's been confirmed.
Interesting.
And Steve, I think it's the one that deserves it. We will see another Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's inevitable. Those two actors are just too good together. The two characters they've got this dual story, this connection to Steve Rogers, and they just belong together. We'll see more of that, I'm absolutely certain. We may even get another WandaVision because we have to clear up Vision and his relationship, this white vision, he's going off in an existential sort of journey to find out what is his and what is not his. He'll come back to Wanda, I'm absolutely certain.
Wanda's get bigger fish to fry.
So there's potential for multi-seasons with all these. But I'm glad this one has, because this one deserves it, because there's so many compelling characters. Minor characters we've barely looked at who've got a chance to now go on. And just the concept of variants as well. It doesn't even have to stick around in the TVA. We can do just fucking plain old Loki show. Doing other things.
Anything they want,
Can do anything they want. Stephen, dialogue though, man, getting back to dialogue, the best line in the entire episode for me. Can't you see this is bigger than both our experiences? Why can't you see it the same way? Because you can't trust and I can't be trusted. What a fucking line
that was the
Tom
one that stood
Hiddleston.
out for me,
Unbelievable line. The way he delivered it. Incredible acting. Stephen, the way you see him at the end, when all the shit starts to hit the fan, Sylvie's killed Kang, that variant, and he's sitting there completely grief-stricken. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Then he shakes himself out of it and walks away. Just unbelievable acting from Tom Hiddleston. We speak about Jonathan Majors, and he was fucking good. He absolutely stole the show. But Tom Hiddleston, man, and even Sophie, I'm going to look her name up again.
Sophie Del Martino.
John, I think really good acting across the board.
Really I think good. So. Those three stand out for me. But then you've got Owen Wilson as well, who isn't in the episode that much, but when he is in it, it's great.
When he gets hit with that thing, and you think you can. There's nothing you can do that's going to. I can't recall what Ravonna says to him, but she hits him down his ass, and he's like, or his arse, and he kind of like, oh, you're right. I like that moment. It's just that back. Stephen, they've got unfinished business.
Exactly. That's the great thing about this series, John. The characters, they're very interesting characters.
I just can't believe I said ass there.
But John, getting back to Tom Hiddleston, there was another moment just before he was basically pushed out of that. What were those little portals
portal,
called?
I'm going to call it a temporal portal.
Before he was pushed out by Sylvie, just the look in his face and his eyes, just don't do this,
But
trust
I'm not
me,
you.
Yeah,
what do you make about that, Stephen? But I'm not you, because I almost took that literal for a moment. I'm like, is she not a Loki? Has she been playing us the whole time? But I think she just meant I'm just not you. You think differently from me. I'm at a different part of my development. I've had different situations that'll shape me. I'm not you. And the way she kisses him and then just pushes him. Stephen, I'm on board with what Elevator said earlier on in the chat. It was disappointing to see them finally connect. It was coming for episodes. You try to speak to her, he gets pruned. They get back together. He has that moment. For her to betray him so quickly afterwards, that was slightly disappointing. But what can you do? It's a finale.
It's a finale, They've got to round it up somehow, John. And it's got to have a climatic moment.
And it's got to set up multiverse.
Yeah, that's it. And someone had to push the button. And it was Sylvie. And I knew, John, we said it last week, not being all smug about it or anything like that, we just didn't know how she was going to do it. But we knew that out of the two of them, I trusted Loki throughout this series, John. I trusted his motives, his actions, his development. Whereas Sylvie came from nowhere, and there was just something about that character being on edge for most of the series as well, that I thought this character could snap at any time. If she senses something is wrong, or if she,
see that?
Yeah, just the wrong word, and she'll go the other way. And we saw that, John. She's just
fighting each other.
I think that's one of the reasons the writers put that line in with He Who Remains, that he didn't know what was happening at that present moment.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it, Stephen?
And it kind of got us that edgy way as well, where we're like, but you just said you knew everything, you're a know-all.
Stephen, see that moment?
You're a know-all. But he was doubting what was happening at that point, and I think that's when the trust was, away.
Yeah. Seeing that moment, man, with Kang, though, when something sort of clicks, we went through I can't recall what he says, and he starts doubting himself. Because before he was so assured, I know everything that's going to happen. You can't touch me. I know I'm not going to die.
Yep.
At that point, there's that unsureness, if that's not even a fucking word. He's not sure of himself. That's what I'm saying. And he kind of, at that point, you see that vacuum starting to be established. Who's going to take the kill, for a lack of a better word? And Stephen, the moment she kills him, I'm like, what have you done? It was like Anakin Skywalker. What have I done? But it's what have you done in this case? What have you done, man? And I says, in bold writing right there, that's the beginning of the multiverse. Because the shot of the branches outside the mall going mayhem.
John, throughout this, though, there was that introduction. See, when you were talking about the Nelson Mandela quotes, now that we're going through space, just fantastic through the different universes. I thought it was amazing, and I thought that bit as well, John, with the branches was stunning. It was just amazing to watch, and I just kept thinking, is this it? Is this the beginning of it? Is this the beginning of the multiverse?
Stephen, I've wrote there as I was watching it, I'm like, the wide shot of the branches all sprouting.
Is that Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I says. In that moment, all I could envisage was Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man characters joining Tom Holland. All faces in different forms. An evil Captain America, a Jarvis Tony Stark. Just craziness. I could see it, Stephen, when I was seeing all of the branches going crazy, haywire, or whatever you call it. Yeah, haywire.
Yeah.
I thought that is just all these different characters we've loved coming
together. And
that's
why I wasn't bothered about the end credit scene. You didn't need it.
You don't need it, Stephen. You get the end credit scene at the end of the actual episode. When Loki comes out and he tries to speak to Mobius, he's explaining, as you say, he's terrified.
Yeah.
We've got this, the man, what's he called? The He Who Remains. There's this guy after.
Mobius' line though, I liked. Yeah, just slow down. Just slow down.
What unit are
you're an analyst or something. I knew right away. I went, that's not the Mobius we know.
It's not the Mobius we know, Stephen. And that's the end credit scene. But Stephen, I love the way he says, "We've killed him. You didn't kill him. Sylvie killed him. You didn't want to kill him." So
I think he was talking about Loki's.
Yeah, the Loki's in general. We've killed him. Yeah, Stephen, that was the end credit scene. He's explaining the consequences of this evil. There's variants of this evil person going to come. We need to prepare now. They don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He looks up and it's a statue of Kang, and he's like, "Shit, I'm in a different universe here."
Sylvie doing that, it's a big moment in the MCU. It's a massive moment.
It is, Stephen.
We just don't. Most people don't realise that, but this is a massive, massive moment.
Stephen, this is the moment.
This is as big as Thanos'.
Stephen, I was going to mention the other one. Fun enough, it was Loki. Loki going to Thanos and doing his deal with him. That set in motion the events of the Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
Taking the Tesseract. Yeah. I think it was him that gave him the Tesseract. I'm not sure. He gave him something anyway. And used him to bring about the events of the first Avengers movie. That put in place the events of the entire Infinity Saga, what came afterwards, all of the Captain America movies, the snap, as he says.
The multiverse saga is about to begin. Yeah,
exactly. We're about to get the multiverse saga, and it's down to Sylvie. Who would have believed it, Stephen? And I'm fucking Loki-led show. It's all been about Tom Hiddleston.
Didn't know about 6 weeks ago.
Didn't know about this character. Such a compelling character now. Where is she? Moving off into multiverse of madness and all of these different movies that are going to explore this concept. Where the fuck is she? Is she going to be in the main timeline? I hope she is.
Yeah.
Stephen, we spoke about her. Brilliant actress. Really enjoyed her. Every bit as good as Tom Hiddleston in this. Want to see her as a fun fixture, as another. Because Tom Hiddleston, let's be honest, I don't know how old Sophie DiMartino is, but Tom Hiddleston's, he's not going to be playing this character for the next 15 years, Stephen. She could potentially play this character for longer than Tom. We've seen 10 years of Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Does he want to do it? Does he get the motivation? We could see Sylvie becoming Loki.
Tom's just turned 40.
He's fucking young. He's got years left.
Sophie DiMartino I know she's a lot younger. She's not that much younger.
37?
She's 1983, so she's
37.
30,
coming up for 38.
38 in November. Yeah. So there's not
years.
Much of a difference. Yeah.
Both get years left. Stephen, man, what I was about to say something about the ending there, but we're done with the ending. The ending's fucking done. Let's be honest. The multiverse, looking at Kang the Conqueror, that was an interesting little moment for me. Looking up at the TVA and realising I'm in a different universe here, and as you did say, setting in motion. But Stephen, where the fuck does this TV show rank for you, man? In comparison, do we want to grade all of the TV shows so far? I don't think we've graded any. For me, I'm going to get right into it, man. I would grade WandaVision as a B+. For me, it's a B+.
Yeah, I would.
It was a fucking great.
I think so.
The whole show, that is.
And it's not because it's a TV show; it's not getting an A. I think there was just a few things that, especially the finale, could have been done a little bit better. I felt in its execution, but I think overall it was a very consistent story, a very consistent performance from the actors as well. It opened up, these characters into more three-dimensional. We got to know them a bit better, and it kind of
gave Vision life.
It gave us an idea of where we're going with these TV series as well. With these, I don't like to call them secondary characters, a bit, but they are. Just with the way they've been sort of presented to us in the MCU, it appears that way, John. But I think
Scarlet Witch isn't secondary in the comics, but in as you say, the way she's been presented to viewers in the MCU, she's a secondary character.
It's just the way it's been sort of formatted, the way they've released these characters into the storyline. Unfortunately, that's just the way they've done it. Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, those are the ones that stand out in your mind right away. But I'm sure if they'd done it differently with Scarlet Witch coming in as the first movie, it would have, would have saw it in a different way. But for me, John, it's a B+ as well.
B+. I'll just flash it up again then, Stephen, because sure, grading. Yes, for me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a B-. It wasn't. It didn't deserve to go into C. There was enough good moments, but the Flag Smashers knocked it down. The exploration of Sam Wilson and what it means to be a black man taking on the Shield in this time, I just thought that was brilliant. In the wake of all the sort of Black Lives Matter things going over, George Floyd and stuff like that, the death, that awakening of anti-racist
sentiment, they've done it in
a
sensible and a sensitive way, and I thought without beating us all over the head, with politics or anything like that, I thought they handled it well. It was a great.
It was Jaya.
Yeah,
that character.
It was a good character. Tragic, but it was a very good character.
Stephen, for me, Loki is not quite enough to be an A, but it's certainly a B+. But I tell you, I rate it slightly higher than WandaVision. I think that finale, just the consequences of it, the ramifications it's going to have for this new multiverse saga, I think that is fucking massive, like you says.
It's a B+ for me as well, John, but for different reasons. The reasons being that
as well.
It had a better sort of overall story. WandaVision is getting the B+ for me, partly because it was the first one that came out. It was a large and I would say a gamble for Disney.
In short episodes.
Marvel to do their first television series in that kind of format, But B+ for me as well for Loki. Very good show.
Consistency, as you did say, took a different approach, dialogue heavy. Really looked into these characters' souls, the way it humanised Loki. We took him from that guy from the first Avengers. I think a lot of people need to remember the first Avengers movie. He was a shithead. He was lording it over humans.
John, the MCU doesn't have to be all action all the time. You get that with Falcon the Winter Soldier, and then you can have that bit of a breather. I thought that Loki and WandaVision gave us more to think about than Falcon the Winter Soldier. Not in a bad way or anything like that.
Stephen, this is what they're for.
That's what they're for,
giving you different content in this saga, in this cinematic universe. Something you can't do in the movies. You can't you can't make a Tarantino-esque Marvel movie because people would be bored with it. Most people haven't got the attention span. They want the action. They want the big set pieces, the CGI, and then they want to go home. You don't get that in this. You get different kind of content. That's why I love TV. It's different to film, and it's giving these directors a chance to explore these characters long form over 4, 5, 6 hours. And that's ultimately why this slightly edges WandaVision. 6 hours. It's longer episodes. It's harder to maintain quality over longer times. WandaVision, it was 15, 20 minute episodes at the start. Then it got longer and longer and longer. This was just more consistent for me. And look at Stephen, I love Tom Hiddleston.
Kate Herron, John, the director. We've got
to commend her. Brilliant.
An amazing director.
Absolutely superb the way she's got. Stephen, it's, as we say, it's not a huge. There was action in here. This was all in bonding with these characters: Mobius, Sylvie, Loki, Richard E. Grant for an episode. That Great Sacrifice. That's all in the directing, getting the performances out of the actors, the dialogue, their interactions. That's all in the director. She gets some tremendous performances out of these actors, and then Jonathan Majors in this last episode, all in the director. So I tip my hat to her. Well done, absolutely
John,
fantastic.
Just before you round things up, it's just. A note of interest to anyone that may want to watch our movie review this Friday. We're doing it a little bit earlier at 9 PM British Standard Time, and we are doing Telepathy VJ's Thirmalai from 2003. I've already watched it, John. It's just under 3 hours long. I know you're going to.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I'm going to rattle it right through tomorrow. I'll watch it about 12:30 at night.
And our very special guest and Indian film expert, probably hate me for saying that, but Ruth will be joining us.
General film expert, Steve, knows a lot about film.
Well, definitely,
Indian film, man.
But she'll keep us right with Indian movies as well, John. And I can't wait to have that discussion with yourself and Ruth on Friday night at 9 PM British Standard Time.
I've just accidentally typed something into the chat there. I do apologise. It's because I used enter as a macro.
7
deadly sin. I'm putting this boy into that there. A mashup. Stephen, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll dedicate my entire evening to it and give it a bash. Hopefully it's good.
Pour yourself a margarita,
I wish. That takes me back to Once Upon a Time. That wasn't a margarita, was it?
It was, yeah.
It was a nice margarita. I need to try a nice margarita.
Yeah.
I don't believe I've tried a margarita ever.
I haven't. I've
tried tequila and all of that shit. Tequila's fucking brilliant, especially when you've been drinking all day. And
daiquiris are okay.
When your Polish mate comes in after you've been drinking all day, first drink here, I'll get you a tequila.
Yeah, don't ever
no worries, mate.
I know we're Scottish, John, but don't ever try and compete with a Pole or a Russian.
I can compete with a Pole, Stephen. Back in those days, I could compete with him. No, but you've seen me, Stephen. Fucking drinking bottles of whiskey. I could compete. But Stephen, that's how you're going to round it up anyway, man, on that note. Tequila, it makes me happy. Ain't that song?
From the 1990s,
that was a great song.
That should be a theme tune.
Oh, it should. That's going to round it up, man. Our review of the finale of Loki.
Peter Cushing there.
We shall redouble our efforts. Dantween is far too remote a system.
We'll deal with your rebel friends.
Rebel friends later.
Enough.
Peter Cushing, what a man. Stephen, to have him and Alec Guinness in a fucking movie together, man. See, when you think about it, what a coup that was for George Lucas.
Yeah.
Relatively, one movie. He had 2 movies, American Graffiti and that TH something.
For
him to be able to attract someone like Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Alec Guinness, man, his dulcet tones. Look, we're going off in Star Wars. I can speak about Star Wars for hours. Just going to round a review up of Loki, the finale. What was your thoughts on this TV show as a whole? Do you agree with our sentiments? It's a solid B+. That's a fucking great rating, incidentally. A's reserved for perfection. So that'd be something like Breaking Bad or
X-Files.
The Sopranos. I'd give the X-Files a solid fucking B+ as well. It's consistently brilliant. Kind of took a dip at the end. But
Fat
man,
Mulder,
you bring in Robert Patrick, man. You know what I mean? What was he called? Doggett, John Doggett.
Yeah.
He has to fill in for an ambitious David Duchovny who wants to go off and be a big star.
Just end up fat. Yeah.
Ends up fat. It's all those pastrami sandwiches he's eating back in New York. Who can blame him? Wish it was me. Incidentally, I had one the other day, Stephen. You need to try this place. Unfucking believable.
Was a
Reuben.
£10 mistake.
No, it wasn't a £10 mistake. That's my father. He's got no concept of fucking what money is and what buys you things in 21st century. £10 for a large chips and a Reuben sandwich with spicy coleslaw and Swiss cheese. Get to fuck. It was amazing. Amazing. Need to get you one, Stephen. I know you appreciate a good Reuben.
I do, yeah.
Jewish delicatessen. The Jews know what they're doing with food. They just know what they're doing with food. But look, if you're getting a sandwich, woman, get in that kitchen, make me a sandwich. One of the best episodes of
it wasn't Geeks and Gamers, by the way.
It wasn't, no. He'd share those sentiments though. And that was Fox Mulder joking.
Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on the Loki finale? You can comment below if you've got anything to share about the actual episode. Jonathan Majors, Kang, Tom Hiddleston's Loki, Sophie DiMartino's Sylvie, our review, anything at all, you can comment below and share your thoughts in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future, and you will duly get it, guys. But until then, me and Stephen are done. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye bye.